All right, it's Bill here. Here's my thoughts on the 2-1 loss to the Ottawa Senators. I kind of knew the day was going to go, or I knew how this game was going to go. We were in Guelph visiting my daughter, which was an awesome time. I had a great time, but we got a hotel room. And of course, I was parking the car, wife's checking in, and we got room 513. The last two digits being 13. You might be surprised here as a Leaf fan. Well, I don't know if I'm a Leaf fan. We'll talk about that later because I don't know if I can criticize. I'm gonna lay into the Ottawa Senators. So if you're interested, I'll lay into them in just a second. But I'm gonna also lay into the Leafs. So you might want to. I don't know if that makes me a fan or not, but 13 is Matt Sundin, and I will tell you he is the most overrated Leaf to ever play, and that says a lot. All these Leaf fans say he was great leader, 1-0 with him. Did better when he was usually out of the lineup, which there's another player that we're doing better without the lineup. But or there's a couple players that when they're in the lineup we get like 800 win percentage. But anyways, I knew when the minute we got 13, it was over. Yeah, game, set, match. It was great. They scored right off the bat, but I knew. You can't get a room with 13. Like I would have sat there and made the change to 17 or I bet more maybe 12, like a decent number. I would have moved next door, but 13. I told my wife and my daughter right away, game's over. Leafs lost, and as I am Nostradamus, yeah, that's what happened. So, anyways, let's get into this game. I'm gonna sit there. So Ottawa Senate, I'm trying to. Sometimes people ask me, Bill, what team do you hate the most in the NHL? All the Canadian teams are what I hate in the NHL. There's only one Canadian team. We all know this. So you can sit there and say you're not. But when the Leafs play Vancouver next Saturday, what time is that game happening? Well, that must be the 7:00 start in Vancouver, right? So it'd be 10:00 here when the game starts. No, it's not going to be that. And who do Montreal play on that day? Let me see. Montreal next Saturday. Should be. They don't play next Saturday. Okay. Ottawa plays Minnesota. So why isn't the Ottawa Minnesota game at 7, and then the Toronto Vancouver game, Toronto Edmonton game, that should be at 9:00 or 10:00. Usually when they play Edmonton, and this the next weekend they play Vancouver. And who does Montreal play? Vancouver. Montreal plays New Jersey Devils. Shouldn't that be the 7:00 game, the Montreal Devils game, and then the Leafs game against Vancouver would be at 10:00? No. You want to know why? There's only one team in the NHL in Canada that gets Sportsnet ratings. I hate to break it to all you other Canadian fans out there. They think your team's important. You're not. You're not important at all. The Leafs are the most important team in Canada. Because you don't want to know why? Because all us morons that cheer for them will watch the game, and we're going to watch a game at 7:00. That's when you make more money with advertising and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, I'm getting into some Indian nonsense, but they got Ottawa. Ottawa's I don't know. So it's, what team do you hate the most? By far for me, the Ottawa Senators. They're like the cheapest version of an NHL team that you could ever find. So it starts off with the friggin' national anthem. I get pissed off watching the national anthem in Ottawa, because they screw that up too. A lot of bad things happen in Ottawa. Okay, this guy singing. I don't know who he thinks he is. He's what's the three tenors? The Pavarotti, or he's big enough. He's big like me. He's big enough to be Pavarotti, but he don't sing like Pavarotti. And he's extending the notes. And he's got a white glove on. I think he's going for a proctology exam after he's done or he's going to go deliver a proctology exam after he's done the anthem. Pitiful. And your team is pitiful. You got fake, what you think are real good. You think Toronto Maple Leaf fans overrate their players? We do. Don't get me wrong. We do. We definitely do. But the Ottawa Senators are beyond. You think Tim Stützle's a good player? Okay. He's a second-line center, or he's a second-line winger, whatever. He's not a top NHL player. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. And Brady Tkachuk, everyone tells me how great Brady Tkachuk is. He's got zero. He's got the same amount of playoff games I do. Zero. I'm going to give you the Ryan Reeves report in a sec. Zero. And he's like, oh, he's such a tough guy. Let me give you some stats on the Ottawa Senators. So anyways, and the 2 goals that the Ottawa Senators scored tonight, one was a 4-on-2, and the other one took about 7 deflections and went off a guy. The guy kneed it into the net. It was all lucky breaks. Yeah, you won. Good for you. You're not going to make the playoffs. I told you that the year last year. I told you the year before. And I hear that every year. The Ottawa Senators are going to make the playoffs this year. Oh, they got a new goalie this year. Well done. Keep losing. And even if you beat the Leafs in the playoffs, the Leafs are the only team. The Ottawa Senators are the only team the Leafs can say, hey, we dominate you in the playoffs because you can't beat us. You're like our Boston Bruins, vice versa. Anyways, I'll just give you some stats on the Ottawa Senators. This amazing team that I would suggest they're way overrated. I do like Jake Sanderson, by the way. I do like him. I think he's going to be a decent defenseman. So there you go. I'm not totally against you. Your leading point person is Tim Stützle with 46 points. So you don't have a point-a-game player on your team. Drake Batherson's second at 40. Brady Tkachuk at 38 points. Okay, so if I take a look at that, let me go through the skaters until I find okay, I'm scrolling down, Ottawa. I'm scrolling down. Oh, there you are, 34th place. You got Tim Stützle. Now, this amazing Tkachuk guy that what a player. Oh, I got to go to page 2. Oh, can I find him on page 2? Where is Brady? There he is in 70th spot. He's got 49 games. He's averaging 0.78 points a game. Give me a break. This guy's a good player. He's a decent NHL player, but he ain't a star. He ain't even in the realm of a star. So that's one reason why I hate Ottawa, because you overrate your players even more than the Leafs, which is tough to do. The second piece is how you continually put players on you. You got an ex-Leaf as your coach, Travis Green. Travis Green was a terrible player on the Toronto Maple Leafs. A terrible player. God-awful player. I used to scream about him before I was doing these videos, back when I was, 18, 20. I used to scream at him. He was a terrible player. Then you had DJ Smith before that. Ex-Leaf player. Ex-Leaf draft pick. Then you had the Canadian coach. You never had a good coach. You haven't had a good coach. Jacques Martin. How many times did you recycle that guy? Your owner is usually awful. So you had Melnick, and now you got this guy who talks about tampering. Yeah, guess what? Players like players. So you know what? I bet you a lot of players in the NHL want to rant in. Well, yeah, because he's a good player. So it's not tampering. You're just so, what do you call it? I'm trying to think of the word. You're not a big town, right? So you're like a little NHL town, and you're so concerned that no one wants to play in Ottawa. Let's be clear. Not one player wants to play in Ottawa. Sorry. So yeah, they're going to leave. Tkachuk's going to leave. Oh, Drew wanted to play in Ottawa because he's at the end of his career and he used to live in Ottawa. Good. Keep getting goalies. Anyways, let's get in this game. First shift. What was it? Was it first shift? Maybe. No, they double shifted the first lines at the beginning. And you had a nice pass. So 3:46 into the game. Nice pass. And Bobby McMahon buries it home for his 14th. So you get a good start, 5-on-5 goal, and then penalties. I think the Leafs had 3 in a row. Jake McCabe, I guess you're not going to include the Max Domi, Brady Tkachuk nonsense, but Pontus Holmberg for 2 minutes for being a moron, puts a skate out in the wrong spot. That wasn't a dive for you Leaf fans. I know the Ottawa Senators like to dive, but that wasn't a dive. Our team Zub falls down. And then you got David Kampf. Now this piece of garbage that we put in as a defensive player, he loses his stick. I think he lost his stick 5 times tonight. Like I hate. So David, the key to having a stick is to have it in your hands. So that's the key, right, bud? You got to keep it in your hands, because when you have it in your hands, you can do something. When you drop your stick, you no longer have a stick, which means you can't do anything. You're not very good at stick handling or doing anything anyways. You're supposed to be the defensive guy. I guess you're good at taking face-offs. By the way, tough to take a face-off if you don't have a stick in your hands. And they said it broke. It didn't look like it was broken. It was laying in the corner. Anyways, he makes the horrible decision. It's in your zone. You do not go and get a stick because that leaves it 4-on-2. It was 4-on-3. Just get in the way. Get in the way, block shots. That's what you do when you have no stick. You hope it gets to your goalie and it sticks to him and you get off. You only go to get a stick when the puck's left the zone. And you decide, with Ottawa still with the puck, to go get another stick. Wow. That is a defensive mindset. That's one I don't know. I didn't know it's better. Now, granted, you're not going to do much without a stick, but you can block shots. So you go from having 3 players down to 2. And it's 4-on-2. What'd you think was going to happen? Tim Stützle scores a goal, and he acts like he won the Stanley Cup. It's a 4-on-2, bud. You tied the game. It ain't the Stanley Cup. I know there's way more Leaf fans in the building than there is Ottawa Senators fans, but you haven't won the Stanley Cup. Another reason why I hate the Ottawa Senators. Every goal against the Leafs, it's like the Winnipeg Jets scoring against the Leafs. Woo! It's 4-on-2. It's not like you go end to end, you beat the whole team. Okay, I got it. Maybe give it a little bit extra. He scores on a 4-on-2, and the guy's acting like he's the next coming of. Yeah, nice one. Anyways, there you go. And then the second period, again, we were in the hotel room, but I was going to turn on the Parcheesi tournament, or see how the World Chess Tournament is doing, or Tiddlywinks. I was going to go watch Tiddlywinks. I might as well in that second period, because that second period was god awful. Also, what happened in the first period, I forgot to mention a couple things in the first period. The first one, they had Jacob Quinlan. Never heard of the guy. He's not going to play too much in the NHL. What do you get? 6 minutes of ice time, whatever. Anyways, Nick Cousins with a disgusting hit. Nick Cousins is we all know what everyone thinks about Nick Cousins. He needs him. It was a horrible hit. Now, karma came back to bite Nick Cousins on this one, because it looks like he might have took the worst of it. Now, it looked like Jacob Quinlan's first game, his mom's in the stands, has to see this moron that still somehow gets a job because the Ottawa Senators let him have a job. Nick Cousins throwing knees out there. By the way, the puck wasn't even near him. How the hell was that not a penalty call? They only didn't give him a penalty call because he got hurt too? Okay, the puck's nowhere near him, and he need him. Oh, I'm sorry, Ottawa Senators. Did he not need him? Oh, because he got hurt, then he should be. He need him. Should have been 5 minutes for kneeing. But the refs didn't call that, so what are you going to do? Because Nick Cousins got hurt. I'm assuming that's why there was no penalty call in the play. Anyways. And I also forgot to give you... What a useless piece of garbage this guy is. This one's a special one, everybody, because I ain't going to stop saying the number 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 601, 0, 0. Zeros. If he didn't step on the ice, nothing would have changed in this game. He didn't do nothing. Oh, he hit Brady Tkachuk. Brady Tkachuk beat him up. What are you talking about? Brady Tkachuk got the best of that. You already know what I think about Brady. Ryan Reeves is useless. How is he not in the Marlies? They brought up Gurbankin. At least at the big, I've seen Gurbankin. He could probably fight. He's going to at least do something on the ice. He's young. Forecheck, back check, paycheck. What does Ryan Reeves do? Not fight. No checks. No offensive ability equals I get paid way more than Gurbankin. He steals. He doesn't get a paycheck. He steals money. He doesn't do anything of what he's paid to do. Your Morgan Riley report. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 23 minutes and 49 seconds. 0, 1. He had one block shot. He didn't throw a hit. He didn't do nothing in the entire game. Morgan, really? 23 minutes, did nothing. Austin Matthews nearly did nothing in 22 minutes. Marner, you got 1 for the assist. Played 22 minutes. This became a defensive... I don't know what kind of hockey this is, but this is not Leaf hockey. I get it, we're down Nyes. I get it, we're down Johnny T. I get it. I get it we're down Pacioretty. I get it we're down Dewar. But God, there's no depth in this organization. And the reason why there's no depth in this organization is we pay 4 people an exuberant amount of money, and 3 of them that played in the game did not. Well, Nylander wasn't horrible. The other 2 didn't show up. It was a great pass to McMahon. But now they're going to say how defensive they played. Great, they played defensive. They lost. Second period, Tiddlywinks. Third period, the Leafs were the better team in the third period. Pontus Holmberg, who, I don't know how many goals he got this year. 1? I think it went into an empty netter. How many goals has he got for the year? I'm pretty sure it's 1. No, he's got 2. So he scored 1. I know one of them was an empty netter. He's got 7 points in 38 games. And he got the best chances with Domi, who I believe has 3 goals on the year. No depth means no scoring. And I said they had a whole bunch of chances. Where were those chances? In the second period, could you name a chance that the Leafs had? The best chances were Myers. I don't know how many shots Myers took at the net. It says he got 2. I think he took 8. He must have got blocked or missed the net. There was a little bit of chemistry between Nylander and Robertson. I think Robertson, it says he didn't have a shot on net. He missed the net. How do you not have a shot on net? I watched him take a pass. Or sorry, he had 2 shots on net. I'm looking at the wrong column. And then, of course, Ottawa scores one of the best goals Shane Pinto's ever got. Just a great goal. Maybe you could bet on it. Can he bet on it? Can he bet that he could have kneed the puck into the net? Like, knee it into the net? Now, I don't know what a distinct kicking motion is, but a distinct kneeing motion. I think if you play soccer, you're still allowed to hit it off your knee. I think you're allowed to hit it off everything but your hand. I guess the NHL is the same way. Such a silly... That's how they score. From behind the net, hits Marner, goes up in the air, somehow hits Shane Pinto in the knee, pops over wall, and just goes in the net by about a half inch. And we're sitting here talking about how great the Ottawa Senators are. The Leafs played horrible, and the Ottawa Senators were worse. But they got the 2 points. Now, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on, I know everyone got on, the Austin Matthews comments about how there wasn't energy in the building when Ryan Reeves fights. Okay, let me explain something to you, Austin. I get it. So first of all, it might sound like I'm going to torch Matthews here. You know I don't usually do it because he's by far the most talented Leaf. And I didn't think he played horrible tonight. He just didn't get a lot of shots, but he was back checking. He was getting pucks. Okay, I know what he's thinking. Okay, now the Toronto media or the media personnel for the Toronto Maple Leafs may be the worst one in the entire NHL because somehow they roll out Marner talking about being a god. Like, do they not train these guys? Okay, so I get it. Okay, they had the little conference that when John Tavares lost his captaincy, felt like a rhymes with muck concert or muck preference or conference, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I get what he's doing. He's trying to. Reeves got embarrassed against Montreal, like absolutely embarrassed. Like that had to be a red-faced embarrassed moment because now the NHL knows that he's not tough. Okay, everyone knows he's not tough. He doesn't scare anybody. Anyone that thinks Ryan Reeves scares anybody is an absolute moron and doesn't watch NHL hockey. At no point did I see one Ottawa Senator bail off a puck because Ryan Reeves was coming. I told you his stats: 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so he fights a guy because he's embarrassed and loses. Okay, so I get it what Matthews is doing. He's trying to stand up for Ryan Reeves. Ryan Reeves getting the crowd going. Okay, there's 3 misses on that argument, Austin. The first one, you actually think the Leaf fans care about Ryan Reeves? Everyone hates the guy, bud. And we hate him because he talks and kisses his biceps and doesn't play the game tough. He talks and don't do. No one likes that. Do you know what the Leaf fans like, Austin and Ryan, just in case you're listening? Guys like Gary Roberts, guys like Wendell Clark, guys like Colton Orr, who didn't say or bravo or talk about how they were going to hurt people. They just did. That's the difference. One talks, don't do. The others don't talk and do. So people don't like Ryan Reeves. That's why it was quiet. Number 2, you make a lot of money, my friend. I get it, because Toronto Maple Leafs is the only team in Canada. I got that part of it. We get all you get. I would guarantee the revenue that the Leafs bring in is probably the highest in probably the NHL, and if not the NHL, definitely in Canada and NHL. Okay, selling the shirts, selling this. I'm one of the morons that buys it. Okay, when you sell seats for $450 to be in the first row, who do you think is showing up? Corporations. I've been there. I've been on the front row. I watched Wendell Clark return game, and I was sitting by myself for about 5 minutes of each intermission and first period, because the suits were downstairs having some drinks. I was able to pound back my drinks, and I made sure I got out to watch the game because I'm an actual fan. I was sitting there, and someone asked what the score was behind me, okay? I said, well, the technology shows you there's a scoreboard, you friggin' moron. Okay? That's one of the other reasons why. So you get paid, well, they got to make money. See how that works, Austin? Supply, demand. So who do you think goes to those games? Why do you think it's so loud on the road, Austin? How many more Leaf fans? Was it loud tonight? Which brings me to point number 3. When you do have real fans at the game, how do you guys play? How'd you play tonight? Full of energy, full of piss and vinegar, lots of hits? I can count. I've got the 3, 4, 5, 7, 10, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19 hits. 19 hits. Bobby McMahon had 7 shots on net. Nylander had 4. That was about it. He only had 29 total. So you talk about the Leafs fans not getting into it. First of all, they hate him. If that was Wendell Clark fighting, trust me, much different reaction, folks. Hell, if that would have been someone on the team like Bobby McMahon, you would have got a reaction. Because they're not kissing their biceps, telling them how much they hurt people when they don't. They're fakes. And someone said, you would have said it to his face? Damn right I would. He gets paid $1.4 million. I don't get paid $1.4 million. He doesn't do his job. I once got to lean over the bench and call me, Ty Domi, me idiot. Because that's how you spell his name differently. That's why, Austin. So I know what you're doing. I know your thought process. You're trying to stick up for your teammate. You're trying to get a little dig to the crowd. I get it. It's not like you did it in this, like, I'm going to burn the Toronto Maple Leaf fans. No, you're trying to stick up for a guy who got embarrassed on your team as a captain. You think that's appropriate. Let me explain something that the media, Toronto media guys that help you out, should have said, keep your mouth shut. You got nothing to stand on. Don't yip. Just do. Wow. This is a longer video than I expected, considering I got home and did a lot of driving today, although the drive home was fantastic. And now I got upset. I was very upset watching the game. One of the people said, hey, can you watch the game live? If I could ever figure that out. You wouldn't. The only problem with me watching a game live is, unfortunately, I don't know what I'd do with my swearing, because there's a lot of swear words. There was a lot of swear words tonight. Anyways, I'm sure I'm going to watch the Leaf conference, and they're going to tell me how great they played. Maybe the crowd should have got more into it, eh, Austin? Cheers.